Photovoltaics is the process of converting sunlight directly into electricity using solar cells. Although it has been around for over 70 years, compared to other electricity generating technologies, it is relatively new. Research and development into photovoltaics received its first major boost from the space industry in the 1960s, which required a reliable, standalone power supply for satellites. These specifically manufactured solar cells were extremely expensive compared to what the market offers today, and were in no way viable for residential power supplies on Earth. The perceived need for an electricity generation method other than the grid power was still a decade away, but the science behind manufacturing solar cells became of particular interest for the silicon transistor industry. In the 1970s, the oil crisis caused a major shift towards investigating alternative energy sources as fossil fuels seemed to be drying up. Although this oil crisis was short-lived and the financial incentive to develop solar cells diminished, solar cells have started to show potential as a future power source. The costs of this technology has improved dramatically, and clear applications for this power source became obvious for remote power systems. Financial viability of solar cells improved when costly transmission lines or dedicated generators would no longer be required. Small-scale portable applications such as calculators and watches were utilised, and remote power applications began to benefit from photovoltaics. In the 1980s, research into silicon solar cells had led to impressive efficiencies. In 1985, silicon solar cells achieved the milestone of 20% efficiency. Over the next decade, the industry experienced steady growth rates, largely promoted by the remote power market. Today, solar cells are used in nearly all parts of the world, with the focus shifting to lower the environmental impact of the technology when compared to conventional fossil fuel-derived electricity. Solar energy is a highly variable resource, particularly in Australia. This resource, however, can only be effective if sufficient sunlight can reach the cells. Factors such as geographical location, local weather, ambient temperature, and shading affect the intensity and amount of solar radiation that can be converted into electricity. In order to design or maintain an effective solar installation, it is necessary to understand the technology and what influences power production.